This video will cover how to do a time series graph, and it's related to question number 9 and number 10 of your statistics project. So the data that I'm using is similar to what you're using with unemployment, but mine is the percent of the population of people 25 years old or over who have an associate degree. And I've chosen 3 states. You will have 4 states in your project. But you see that I've made a table, and that's the first thing you do, with your years in the first column, and then each state having its own column. Now once you've constructed that table, then inserting the graph is a relatively simple process in Excel. Highlight the table, including the names of the states, and then go all the way up to the Insert menu, go over to Charts, and we're going to do a line chart. When we do our drop down, we want the very first one, and this shows trends over time, and that's a time series. That's what we want to look at, what's happening in these states by year. Now remember, in your unemployment data, you're going to be looking at the January of each year. So it's constructed the time series graph for us, and there's just some things I want you to change so that the data is presented in the best possible illustration that it can be. First thing is we want a title, so we just click on chart title, and I'm going to type in here, and we will call this attainment of associate degrees. I also want to label my axes, my vertical and horizontal axes, and in the version of Office that I'm using, I just click my plus sign. It's to add chart elements. If you're using a different version, you may need to Google how to add chart elements, but you see I need to go in and add axis titles, and I'm going to do both of them because we know that we need to tell our readers of our data as much information as we can so they know what they're looking at. And going up the y-axis, we have the, and I'm going to double click in there so it'll go away. Well, maybe we'll just delete it. It's hard when you're doing something sideways. This is the percent with, we'll just put degree. It would be good to have associate degree. And then in the bottom, this is years. Now, the colors are already there, but I don't particularly like them. So when I did the plus sign here, clicked on the chart, this menu shows up. I'm sure you have a way to format your chart area. I want to go in and change the colors. You can do different styles of charts. I like the plain line graph, but I do want to change the color, and I want something that's a little brighter. I like this combination, but you may use whatever combination you like. And you know, during class we talked about how sometimes the axis is truncated. Well, this axis is it goes from 0 to 10, and all of our data is just the lines are on top of each other. We really can't see what's happening very clearly among these 3 states. So what I want to do is I want to format that axis so I can change that range. So to do that, oh, and also this is where you have trend lines, which is something you may want to use on the histogram. It will give the numbers on top of each bar and tell me how tall it is. So I want to right click on the axis itself, and it's going to let me format the chart. I want to format the axis. Here it is. So right click until you find format the axis, and you see that the bounds are 0 to 10. We want to change that, and on this particular one it looks like my data is going to fit real nice between 5.5 and 9.5. And you see that that really does spread it out. I've not truncated any data. All I've done is separate these lines enough so that we can actually see what's going on here. And so that's what there is to the work of completing the time series graph. For your 4 states, you'll have an additional column. I have Kentucky, Indiana, Tennessee, but you're going to have your own individual states that your group selected, and that'll be your 4th one. So if you have any questions, please let me know, and we'll find a way to meet up and talk about it. Hope this helps.